What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe No Days Off DFS here, bringing the NBA slate breakdown for the 9-game NBA slate we got today. We got football going on today, and we got the NBA. So interesting day nonetheless. And you already know we're gonna go ahead and try to break this down, see if we can't win some money over here on DraftKings. We got the 50K to first. If you guys are new here, you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me for the support. Get on the channel, no matter the views, no matter the little bit that we get. Still gonna go ahead and try to get these things out to you guys and break this stuff down. So thank you guys for tuning in, watching, and just along for the ride. Now, if you guys looking for player pool, cores, or any of that other stuff, check the link down in the description below for the Dub Club. All that will be there. Check it out. Coming soon. I might go ahead and start a YouTube tier page as well for you guys, for those that don't want to use the Dub Club, things like that. So be on the lookout for that. I will probably have that coming out, and we'll be able to upload more of my own content for you guys. Definitely talk to me down in the comment section. Let me know some other things that you guys would like to see. But definitely just trying to branch out and get more stuff out there to you guys. All right, so looking at it on the day, today we have truly a very interesting slate. Just due to the fact of the names that we have on the slate altogether. Of course, a lot of injury news that we have to even pay attention to with it all around. But we got a slate, of course, with Luka, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic, SGA, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Fox, Sabonis, Donovan Mitchell, like all these big top names. And we're going to have to figure out which one of these guys is going to be in the prime spot, the best spot for us to go ahead and attack and go with. Not only just that, but just building out all together, finding the right value, especially down here in that 5K and below range, to figure out what we're going to do on this slate. All these games look pretty good to me in my eyes. Of course, like I said, injury news, we got to pay attention to that. Coming over here, Giannis, I do expect for him to play. Don't expect for him to miss on the slate, but that's going to be the earlier game, so we don't have to fully worry about that. So luckily, we don't have to worry about the Detroit and Milwaukee game. But the 76ers taking on Charlotte Hornets. This, hopefully, if the Hornets can keep it close, should be a decent game. We definitely should be able to get a go off Joel Embiid. And this is what I mean by the options that we have on the slate, because every single one of these top three stud players are in a prime. Beautiful matchup. Joel Embiid taking on the Charlotte Hornets, who we know can get decimated by opposing centers, especially one such as Joel Embiid, with just the force that this man is playing with. Amazing over his last couple of games. 66, 67, 61, 71, 79. Just ridiculous what he's going out there putting up. The Joker, he's been teeter-tottering in regards to what he can do, but he's going up against my OKC Thunder, who the Nuggets, they did blow out of the water on that first game of the year that we played against them. But who's going to stop him? Honestly, of course, nobody is. You're just going to try to limit him and what he can do out here. But just a matchup going up against the Thunder, who have been weak against opposing centers. That spot for him. And then, of course, Luka with no Kyrie going up against Portland. This is another smash, great spot. We've seen opposing point guards have done very well playing against Portland over the last couple games. And a player of Luka's caliber who has that usage, who dominates everything that he does, just a really great spot for him. Now, outside of that, like I said, Donovan Mitchell on the other side over here going up against Atlanta, who this could be a really good game. We have no Darius Garland. He's going to be out for a while with the fractured jaw. So we already know point Donovan. Karis LeVert, he's going to slide to the starting lineup. Maybe we look at Karis LeVert instead. But Donovan Mitchell, he's in a really great spot going up against the Hawks, who we've attacked with opposing guards throughout the season. Coming out here, Tyrese Halliburton, depending on if he's going to be playing or not. But we know the Pacers, they play no defense. We have Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards. Those guys are on the slate. And, of course, some game-time decision tags that we got to pay attention to in this game. All in all, it's a crazy slate. And I see a lot of different ways you can go. Of course, De'Aaron Fox, him being a game-time decision, going up against the Utah Jazz, who, again, decimated by injuries as well, with players being out. Of course, hopefully we get Lauri Markkanen, and maybe he can improve his trade stock. I would love for my Thunder to trade for him. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, that would be amazing, beautiful, would love it. But I highly doubt that we will make that trade. But if you guys want to, man, that'd be amazing. Go ahead, trade Giddey. I don't mind that at all. But the Kings, if Sabonis is going up against Utah without De'Aaron Fox, the usage and everything that he has, man, it's just a lot of different players that I want to look at on today's slate. So going over the DraftKings, like I said, straight up out of the top guys over here in the stud range, I will say the one, of course, that piques my interest is going to be Luka Doncic, just with the usage that he has in the matchup going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. Sitting here up at the top, 12-1, rightly priced. Definitely deserves the pricing that he has right here. Again, he's playing practically a playoff rotation in regards to the minutes that he's playing. As we look, 41, 44, 43, 39 minutes. And the point totals, 39, 33, 35, 32. The assists, all those are going to be there. I made the joke several times on this channel. Luka is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 option out here for the Mavs. Everything is going to start and begin with him. And just if he comes out with a hot start, being able to knock down his shots, it's going to be a long night for the opposing team. So to me right now, for the fact of you have no necessarily true 1B over here for the Dallas Mavericks, unless you want to include Tim Hardaway Jr. if he actually gets hot, Seth Curry if he gets hot, Grant Williams, all those are ancillary pieces to me. But Luka kind of grades out as the main de facto top stud player that we're probably going to want to go to. Now, this, of course, depending on what you're playing in regards to GPPs, cash games, so on and so forth, you're going to want to decide, do I want to play it for Luka, or am I going to come down, be different? This is a spot where you could possibly get different and come down here to the two bigs in the Joker and Embiid. And this right here, one of these two guys are going to be lower owned than the other because it's just two big studs in regards to the center position. Right now, looking at it, they're both kind of roughly looking at single digit ownership compared to Luka. So I could see the pivot of coming down here going to a Joel Embiid or a Nikola Jokic. If I'm having to choose between the two, I will say maybe I will go with Embiid over the Joker. Now, if we want to include rest factor, things like that, considering that Embiid, he did just play last night against the Pistons, but he only played 29 minutes, has done pretty decent on his back-to-backs so far this season, so I don't mind going to Embiid at all, any way, shape, or form. But the Joker, I definitely could understand it. Like I said, no one is going to be able to stop him on the opposing side. Now, another stud possibly could look to pair up and go with this. Like I said, Donovan Mitchell, I am going to have some interest here in regards to him, considering, like I said, there is no Darius Garland out there. So we know the usage that Donovan should go ahead and get without that, should be playing that point guard role. We've seen opposing point guards, they've done pretty decent going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Dennis Schroeder just popped off for 35.75 fantasy points. Last game, this was a weird back-to-back for them. He only put up 18 going against them. But Jamal Murray, Tyrese Maxey, Damian Lillard, Jeremy Sochan, Darius Garland, all these guys have put up 30 plus close to 40 fantasy point plus games going up against him. And of course, the last time that Donovan Mitchell did just play going up against, well, not just play, but when he played going up against him earlier in November, he did drop 69 fantasy points in that game going up against the Hawks, 35 minutes, 69.25 fantasy points. So we know that it's definitely going to be there for Donovan to be able to have a big game. Now, I could definitely see some merit in coming down. Like I spoke on it already in regards to if we were to just come down here and go with a Karis LeVert instead, who should see an increase in his usage as well. We've seen this time and time again whenever he's been thrust into the starting lineup or things like that, whenever they've had to go in that direction. So I don't mind coming down here for the savings and possibly what we could get by coming down here to him. Considering he did just last time they played was going up against Boston, played 35 minutes, dropped 46 fantasy points. He was coming off of being out a couple of games prior to that. So definitely don't mind coming down here to him. That game playing against the Hawks, he played 16 minutes in that game and dropped 30 fantasy points. So the usage, the upside is definitely going to be there for him to be able to oh wait, correct, I'm sorry. He played 30 minutes and dropped 16.25 fantasy points. Sorry, read it backwards, guys. But still, the usage without Garland being out there is definitely going to be there. So I don't mind possible looking at that pivot of swapping and getting the value in Karis LeVert, who will be in that prime position. And maybe then instead you can go with a Luka or one of these big centers instead if you were to go that way. And then, of course, just got to figure out the value on top of that. Now, outside of that, some of the players like we've already talked about and spoke on regards, of course, I've already said, like the Jazz, one of those teams that are dealing with a ton of people being out. Jordan Clarkson, John Collins, Keontae George, don't know how to say that guy's name, Garrett Stevens, all these guys are out. Even with Laura Larkin being back, still, it's a lot of usage and everything going on for them. And we've seen it in these last couple games. Taylor Horton-Tucker, Colin Sexton, they played very, very well. And I know the prices are slowly starting to come up, but still, it's a pretty decent matchup for them going up against the Kings. And Sexton, I know he's more of a score-first type point guard, shooting guard, whatever you want to call him. Still, decent matchup. They're going to need his scoring. They're going to need him out there. 6,200. Don't mind coming down to that as a possible play right there. And then if Taylor Horton-Tucker was to be out, then definitely we're going to want to be looking at Colin Sexton either way. But if THC is going to play, he's looked pretty decent over these last couple of games. 24 fantasy points, 38 fantasy points, and some increased uses and increased minutes that he's been getting out there. 5,800. I could definitely see the value in coming down to him instead of going with Colin Sexton. But you do have that option right there in regards to coming down. Another player who we got to speak on, and I know I hate clicking this guy's name, but You're going up against the Pacers, going up against Miles Turner and them. Pretty much a team that plays almost 5-out. I'm not too worried about Rudy getting dragged out the paint, things like that. But the rebounding usage, the rebounding upside should be there for him. We've seen he's had two 20 rebound games, double type games over his last 5. One going up against San Antonio, another one going up against Memphis, where he dropped 49 and 57 fantasy points. I do feel like that is in the realm of what Rudy Gobert can give us here in this position spot. In all honesty, 7,400, I really do like the value, especially if there isn't going to be any Anthony Edwards, possible a couple more touches that I could see possibly going his way. Definitely something that we should keep in mind, is something that we can go to. And then last but not least, if Fox is going to be out, Malik Monk, all these other guys, Keontae Ellis, those guys are going to get a boost in regards to players that we want to look at. Again, going against the Utah Jazz, if the Kings feel like, okay, they can definitely go in here and beat the Jazz. You know, they're missing a lot of players. Going up against, technically, I'd say probably a B squad, if we want to look at it that way. Sabonis, the usage, everything that he should have, I definitely can see coming down to him from the Joker and from Embiid, and coming down and playing Sabonis instead, if we want to look there and go in that direction over paying up for Embiid and the Joker. Now, some value plays, kind of spoke on it a little bit in regards to like Dallas. Of course, we know Luka, he's all the options, but he does have some players that we can look at that I do think are in a pretty great position. Grant Williams being one of them. I know Derrick Jones Jr., he's normally the guy that I like to go to, but Grant Williams, pretty good matchup going up against Portland. Grades out as a good matchup. Portland's given up roughly about 30 plus fantasy points to opposing power forwards. I know even with Derrick Jones Jr., he should be playing that small forward position anyway, so this should put Grant at that power forward spot. But Derrick Jones, Draymond Green, John Collins, Evan Mobley, Obi Toppin, all these guys have pretty decent games in this position. And if Grant can knock down that 3-point shot, if he actually attempts it as well, but really don't have to worry about him attempting. But if he can knock down his threes, we've seen going up against the Lakers, play 40 minutes, drop 28.25 fantasy points at 4,900. I will take a stab and a chance right there. And I did just speak on it, but you could look at a Derrick Jones Jr. sitting at 52. He's right above what I consider value in that 5K and below range, but hasn't had really that big pop-off game. I know that it is definitely in the realm. I do like one of his props today, his points and rebounds anyway, as we do see he definitely does rebound the ball pretty well when he's out there, but if he can get his scoring to actually flow, 1 of 8 in his last game, 1 of 6 from 3, those 3-point shots, if he can get those to fall, he could definitely be another value play that you can consider of going to on the day. Now, if Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to miss, if he misses, then Chris Dunn, he's going to be thrust and see a couple more minutes in regards to what he should be going out there doing. Like I said, with the Jazz being decimated by injuries, we are seeing a lot of the rotation players definitely having to pick up some more of those minutes. Chris Dunn being one of them, sitting at 4,900, another value piece, value play that you can go to in that 5K and below range to possibly go to. Now, if again, this is a lot of ifs, so definitely make sure you guys write this down. If then for this, but if Fox does miss, then I don't mind looking at a Trey Lyles, who's sitting at 4,100, has looked pretty decent coming off the bench, definitely knocking down his threes when he's out there, taking a ton of them, but looks really well in his time out there. And it's possibly, if you do expect this game to blow out, I'm not gonna say that it is, but if you do maybe think it can actually blow out, I can see some value in coming out here to Trey Lyles. Definitely a player I do have belief that he can get at least 18 to 20 fantasy points, especially sitting at 4,100. I do feel like there is some value that you could possibly go there. And then last but not least is going to be my boy Jalen McDaniels. His comeback has looked decent out there in his time frame. I know he's more of a defensive specialist whenever he's out there on the court, typically out there to guard the opposing best wing or guard player out there, but we do know he can actually go out there and score as well. Another 4,900 player that you can put into your back pocket as a possible play, especially if Anthony Edwards does miss. I'll have a lot more interest in Jalen McDaniels, but playing at least mid 20 minutes out there, possibly could see 30 minutes as we've seen going up against the Pelicans. 34 minutes, gave us 15.5 fantasy points. I don't hate that, but the upside, if he can get his defensive stats going, could definitely be huge. So that's just gonna be a couple of plays that I'm definitely gonna be on for today's slate. So hopefully you guys got a couple of those. Hopefully you guys do cash out. Oh, I'm gonna give you guys one more. Isaac Okoro, like I already said, with Cleveland without Garland being out there, we are going to see some shakeup in the rotation and stuff like that for the players. I definitely can see Isaac Okoro getting a couple more minutes out there. 16 minutes against the Hawks when he played last time, 15.5 fantasy points. So the upside is definitely there for Isaac Okoro if he's gonna actually get a couple more minutes in the sense, especially with Karis LeVert moving into starting lineup. So hopefully you guys got a little bit of something from this. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you guys enjoyed the video, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos. Definitely talk to me down in the comment section. I want to know, do you guys want to actually see more prize picks, prop breakdowns, things like that, instead of the DFS content? Again, like I said, I look at my analytics, I look at those things, and I see you guys. Not a lot of people really do pay attention to DFS stuff. I know it is a dying breed. There's only a handful of people that actually still play this stuff. So let me know if you guys would rather see me cover props instead of doing this this daily fantasy stuff. I will definitely see if I can't do that instead. I'll go over that, my props that I'm on for the day versus doing the DFS content. So hit me up, let me know. Thanks, peace.